Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you how to connect two functions together using domain restrictions. Our first function, we have f sub 1 of x equals a1 x plus b1. Once you type this out, go ahead and add the sliders by selecting all, okay? And then what we'd like to do is let's go ahead and add some restrictions to the domain. So you do this by first typing in fancy brace or curly brace. Let's go ahead and choose, say some values 0 to 4, okay? 0 to 4. Maybe I'll make it 12 or 10, make it a little bit bigger, okay? I'm going to pan out. So what I'd like you to realize is here, I'm going to set the y-intercept to 0, alright? I'm going to increase my slope. And I want you to imagine this as the first part of our roller coaster that extends from the origin and is going to travel upward, okay? So this is a gradual sloping up. Think about a marble maybe have some sort of mechanism that pushes it up the slope. And then what I like it to do is that once it gets to this point here, I want it to slope down, right? Slope down. And so what function could we use to slope something downward? We could use a parabola, or part of the function of a parabola. We could also use a what else could we use? We could use a radical function or some sort of upside down exponential function. Let's just use a parabola. Okay, so to type this in, I'm going to type f sub 2. Right? Note how I'm using the subscript to help me delineate between the different coefficients that I'm using. So f sub 2 of x equals a2x squared plus b2x plus c. I would use this equation of a quadratic, but I remember, you know what, there's probably a better way to do this. I'm going to use vertex form of my parabola. X minus h1, or this would be 2, right, sorry, squared plus k2. Okay, I'm going to add all, just as before. Now I have this parabola that I can go ahead and manipulate. What I said is I want it sloping down over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and manipulate this. I'm going to make a negative. I'm going to translate this to the right, and then I'm going to translate it up. And now you'll see that I have some sort of sloping parabola. Okay, I might even move it farther to the right. Now here's an interesting point, and I'm glad this problem arose. I like to go ahead and move my parabola farther to the right, but you'll see here it's kind of hard to do that with the slider. So I have to select, I'll do that one more time. I'm going to select that number 10 right there, and I'm going to change the largest value. Let's make it 100 for now, okay? I'm going to start at 0, go to 100. Okay? Now what this will allow me to do is it gives me more space to work with, okay? And you'll also see that it's kind of skipping here. So let's go ahead and change the step. Right now I have the step at 1. Let's change it to 100th. We can really fine tune this, okay? This parameter. So here I'm moving it to the right. And I can also, I'm going to decrease this. So see how this is close to 10.4 or 10 and 4 tenths? Let's change this between 10 and 5 tenths. Okay, I want to really fine tune this. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can really fine tune this object. That looks really nice. See that? If I zoom in, you'll see that it intersects at a couple different points. I may choose it to, I may choose this as the point at which the marble will come off the line and follow the parabola, right? So I'll go ahead and select that point there. I'll zoom out, and you'll see that now I have a domain that I can restrict for my parabola, right? I want my parabola to begin right here, and I want the line function to end right there at this value. And what is the x value? Well, the x value is 9 and 91 hundredths. Okay, so let's go ahead and limit or restrict our domain. As opposed to choosing 10, right, I'm going to choose 9 and 91 hundredths. 9 and 91 hundredths. It's going to take me all the way to this point. And then my parabola, I'm going to have it begin at 9 and 91/100ths. So I'll type in my fancy braces again. Note how I'm in a different function now, right? I'm talking about restricting the domain on the parabola, the purple function, and I'm going to type 9 and 91/100ths less than x, okay? And now you'll see I have like this interesting sloping up, and then I have the marble dropping off, coming down, okay? How is this useful? Desmos makes it very simple to, one, restrict the domain, identify elements or points of intersection, and then we can very easily identify how we can restrict the domain to better visualize what's happening here, okay? What I would be very cautious is once you do this, right, if I were to manipulate A, see how that point of intersection is going to change altogether. I think it was at negative 4/10. Okay, but if I were to change any of these parameters, right, now they're not intersecting, so I got to be very careful. In fact, what I would do is type these into your function just so that it's hard set and you don't make the mistake of moving these. In other words, if a sub 2 is negative 4/100ths or 4/10ths, type it in, negative 4/100ths, right? So now you don't have to worry about the slider because the slider isn't doing anything. It's not changing anything. And I would do the same thing for H2 and K2. So 10 and 21/100ths, and then last but not least, 4. Okay? And then you can go ahead and not worry about those sliders altogether. We could do the same thing for this one. This one's at 4/10ths, and B is at 0. Okay? So now you can imagine how you can start building your roller coaster using these various functions.